behind the Leaf bench. For more on this, we check back in with Darren Dreger, this time with his Hockey Central line mates.
All right, thank you very much. Well, on a night where we preview the NHL playoffs, it's the non-playoff Maple Leafs that grab our attention. And the first question is very simple. And Bill Watters, I'll start with you. Do you agree with the firing of Pat Quinn and Rick Lee?
No, I don't. However, I don't think John Ferguson had any alternative, and based on what I understand, he came within a hair's breadth of getting sacked himself today.
Yeah, and saying that, this is why John Ferguson had to make this move. Hey, he's been in the shadow of this guy for 3 years now, and the bottom line is he had to find a way to put a stamp on his team. He didn't do that at the trade deadline, therefore he had to get rid of the guy that was looking down upon him, and that was Pat Quinn.
Tell you, the skids were greased the day John Ferguson was hired. I mean, Pat in some ways prolonged his stay as head coach, so whether you're on one side or the other, I do advocate the fact that, okay, now John Ferguson is, quote, the real general manager, and he's really on the hot seat.
Well, and you wonder why the Leafs haven't won in 39 years? Here's a coach who is 104 games, over 500, and they said 8 years. He's only been there 7. Do you count the lockout? Yeah. Was it Pat's fault the lockout happened?
So what do you think? He was set up to fail based on what John Ferguson didn't do?
Well, okay, Eric Lindros is going to help Jason Allison. You get Luke Richardson, Marius Cherkovsky. You got a lot of help during the lockout year and then to start this year. Okay, salary cap, all these things. But you brought in those players to help the team, and then Pat Quinn still 8 games over 500 with the help that he got, Luke Richardson at the trade deadline.
Tannenbaum is interviewing candidates for John Ferguson's job up until Sunday. And he recommends to the board that Ferguson be fired. The board overrules him. John Ferguson is lucky to be here. I'm happy for him that he's going to get a chance. But Pat Quinn shouldn't have had to pay the price because of the tinkering that goes on above both of them.
Well, there's no doubt that these guys were not on the same page right from the get-go. Quinn wanted Tambellini. Somebody else wanted Neil Smith. Yeah. And when they hired John Ferguson, it was Pat Quinn that said to a few people that, hey, he's not my guy. This is not
But, Gord, is this his move? I mean, ultimately, sure, he needs board of the governor's approval, but John Ferguson did make a very gutsy move, regardless of whether or not Pat Quinn was set up to fail.
Gutsy move?
He fired his head coach, Bill Watters, a guy who's been in this city for 8 years.
That's right, but he'd done well enough to get another year out of it. Did you not hear Ferguson talk about what a great record they had? Yeah. 26 home wins, 90 points. That's the same coach.
Bill, what's he supposed to do? Fire himself? I mean, the thing is, he's in charge now. I mean, John Ferguson, right? It was a forced marriage.
Is John Ferguson in charge when the players can go to the owners and the players are
the board has to look at themselves now and figure things out.
When one of the players shows the emails he gets from the chairman of the board. Nice deal.
Hey, yeah. We're going to go to now. Ty Domi's the reason why this is such a big mess. That's like blaming.
Bill didn't say Ty.
We never said Ty.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
How do you know what I'm talking about? You're a lot smarter than you appear.
We know who you're talking about.
Oh, we do, Nick.
Yes, we do.
And now, is that too bad or is that true?
Then who are you talking about?
Exactly who you said I'm talking about. But I will tell you that.
Okay.
You don't have to tell me who I'm talking about.
It's still wrong, no matter how you slice it. You brought it up.
I did bring it up.
Doesn't matter. It's wrong.
A guy that plays 6 minutes a night. 6 minutes a night.
That's nothing to do with it.
That's like going to Edmonton and going, hey, the Oilers almost missed the playoffs because of George Laraque.
George Laraque wouldn't do what your buddy does.
Apples to oranges, apples to oranges. So, end of the day, we must move on, and that includes the Hockey Central play. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get him in. We know that he's not going into the playoffs. That we can be certain of. So, we'll have more on this, obviously, throughout the course of the night and into the days ahead. John Ferguson, though, puts his stamp as the Leafs general manager. It comes at the expense of Quinn and Lee.
Feisty.